Good morning, dear students. Welcome in social science class. Dear students, we have already discussed about the extremists or the moderates or radicals in previous topic and about the formation of Muslim League in 1906 by the Aga Khan and the other Muslim leaders like Salimullah of Dhaka. Now the next topic we have in this chapter, the nationalist movement, that is Morley Minto reforms, very important, 1909. Morley Minto reforms, it was associated with the, or we can say that the separate electorate or representation demanded by the Indian rulers or Indian freedom fighters against the Britishers. So let's start with this. The British government announced Morley Minto reforms to pacify the moderates. Moderates means those who were believe in ideas and thoughts. As we have already discussed in the beginning of the chapter. But the reforms did not pay any heed to the demands of Indians for Swaraj. That was the Morley Minto reform. It was not paying any kind of heed. Heed means they were not taking any action for the demands which was demanded by the moderates that was related to the Swaraj, the full independence. Muslims were granted separate electorate representation. This reform was a threat to the Hindu Muslim unity as well, because they both were demanding, the Hindus and the Muslims, they were demanding their separate electorate. But the thing was that only the Muslims were getting the separate electorate. In the national movement, the moderates opposed it, and the struggle for Swaraj became more intense. And more intense means it was creating more spark, and it was increased slowly and gradually for the long period of time, because the Hindus, they were not getting proper rights after demanding or after putting so many demands against the Britishers. Next we have Home Rule League. It is also very important, which was started by Annie Besant as well as Bal Gangadhar Tilak. In 1916, dear students, you have to remember these dates, especially these dates. These dates are very important. Other topics also, we have different kind of dates that you have to remember. And one more thing, you have to make flowchart also of these different topics. While you will start your chapter, there should be a flowchart. We will discuss in live class how you have to prepare flowchart. In between also you can prepare. In 1916, an Irish lady, Miss Annie Besant, established the Home Rule League in Madras. The areas also sometimes ask that where the Home Rule League was started, in which place. That is Madras by Annie Besant and Bal Gangadhar Tilak, established in Maharashtra. The purpose of the league was to attain self-government, their own government, and the British government tried to crush the movement, but the agitation continued. Here also the Indians, they were demanding their rights, but the British government, they were not giving them a chance to move upward, and their agitation, their protest was continued, and they were still struggling for their rights. Who was struggling? The Hindus were struggling. Next, we have the Lucknow Pact. Earlier, we have discussed about the Surat session where the Hindus and Muslims, they were divided. Their unity was divided, and here in Lucknow Pact, their unity was reunite, or Hindu Muslim, they were reunite in 1916 Lucknow Pact. The moderates and radicals. Moderates believes in ideas and thoughts. Radicals believes in actions. Reunited. Hindus and Muslims reunited after 9 years and signed a joint pact at Lucknow with the Muslim League. They jointly demanded self-rule for the India. Self-rule means without the interference of British Empire. Now the next topic we have arrival of Mahatma Gandhi on the Indian political scene. Dear students, if any topic is left, then do inform me, because I am having this old one book. If any topic different in your book, then do inform me or send me those pictures of those specific topics. After the First World War, 1914, the specific date is mentioned, that is in 1915, the Mahatma Gandhi came to India. But here it is mentioned after the First World War, 1914 to 1918, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi took over the leadership of the Congress. He introduced the technique of non-violent agitation. Non-violent agitation means protest without any violence, which was called satyagrah. Satyagrah, sometimes meaning also can be asked, what is the meaning of satyagrah? That is demand for truth. That also you have to remember. Whenever I am sending any video of any topic, those topics you have to read that particular day. It was a non-violent struggle against the British oppression. He propagated tolerance, brotherhood, non-violence, ahimsa, and simple living. He was in the faith of that non-violence, and he was believing that only non-violence is we have a source by which we can get our freedom. Gandhiji realized that social reforms were necessary for a truly national struggle, and he opened Sabarmati Ashram. Where it is? That is in Gujarat, where people of all castes and religions were welcomed. No, it was not meant for a particular religion. Anybody can be there and they can live there. His first movement was at Champaran in Bihar, very important, from where Mahatma Gandhi started his first movement in India, that was Champaran in Bihar in 1917. He forced the government to increase the price of indigo for the benefit of peasants. What happened exactly, dear students? The farmers, they were growing indigo over there, and they were not getting good wages after growing such kind of crop there, because once we are growing indigo on the fields, no other crop can be grown on such kind of fields, because these crops are not that much good for other crops. After growing this, other crops cannot be grown on that particular field. By 1919, Gandhiji became the most popular leader of India and launched many powerful mass movements. Here, do you know, during Gandhiji's period, leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose also came to the forefront with the demand of complete independence. They were also supporting the Mahatma Gandhi, or in simple words, we can say that they were inspired by Mahatma Gandhi. Next, we have Montagu Chelmsford Reform or the Government of India Act. It was the dual government system. The Daichi, we can say that the dual government system was demanded by the Indian leaders, the Legislative Assembly, as well as the Council of State. The British, 1919, after or before, we can say that the Jallianwala Bagh, the British paid no heed to the agitation. Agitation means protest. All right, protest. The British, they were not paying any kind of heed or any kind of encouragement. They were not giving any kind of action. They were not taking after the protest of self rule going on overall the country. They introduced another set of reforms to appease people. They also want to appease people. Appease means to attract people. But the reforms were insignificant, and the number of elected members were increased in Legislative Assembly and Council of States. But there was no change in the location of power. Indians were not getting any kind of power, only the Britishers, they were getting all the powers. The system of dual government, Daichi, was introduced there, and all important subjects like finance, money related powers, police were under the control of the governor, and the Indian ministers were given the charge of education and health. The revenue part was came under the British section, and other the education was part under the Indian ministers. The real power was still vested with the British officials. The real power, that is the financial powers, was again under the British officials, and Indians were disappointed by the reforms. This was also against the Indians. And the next again we have the one more, that was the Rowlatt Act of 1919. It was very important act, we can say that, because in this The Indians were arrested without any reason for the longer period of time in the jail, and they were kept imprisoned. There was growing unrest and protest. The British government passed the Rowlatt Act. It empowered the government to arrest anyone without a warrant and imprison people without trial. And another one more important point in this, that they were not allowed to defend themselves. And this caused massive demonstrations and hartals all over the country during that period of time during 1919. Rowlatt Act was known as the Black Law also. If question will arise is that what is another name of Black Law, or what is another name of Rowlatt Act, that is Black Law or Rowlatt Act, because this in this under this people were arrested and they were not having the arrested person was not allowed to go for an appeal to defend themselves, or dalil arguments, or as well as wakil lawyer. They were not allowed to keep lawyer for themselves to defend themselves. So this was all about today's topic. Read up to this page, and assess assignment also you will get today. Thank you. And read chapter till this topic, because the pages are different. Up to Rowlatt Act you have to revise, and live class I'll ask anytime.